Being a Christian in modern society has become increasingly more difficult, more specifically in the workplace, especially when working in health, and I would say even more so in mental health. As a mental health coach under NDIS, your values are increasingly tested when presented the obstacles of weaving around red tape that the government puts around you. This is impacted by opposing worldviews of mental health, the mental health system, and my conflicting personal worldview as a Christian. In this video, I will define what a worldview is and how I manage to apply my worldview in an atheistic world and how I apply it to a very sophisticated and controlled government system as a mental health coach. A worldview is our perspective of the world, to put it simply. According to James Sire, who's the author of Naming the Elephant, states, a worldview is a commitment, a fundamental orientation of the heart that can be expressed as a story or in a set of presuppositions or assumptions which may be true, partially true, or entirely false, which we hold consciously or subconsciously, consistently or inconsistently, about the basic constitution of reality, and that provides the foundation on which we live and move and have our being. Our foundation as we operate as a human being starts from our worldview, which governs how we interact with the world. This makes it coherently linked to our personal faith and purpose in life. The fact that or how we perceive the world is directly linked to the inner beliefs of a person creates many undermining conflicts towards other worldviews. In other words, if you have a ball on the floor, the perspective of that ball in a dog or to a dog is a toy they can play with. Whereas a cat, the ball is an inanimate object, if not an obstacle. The dog's worldview is to play and have fun, as opposed to the cat, which is likely to just want to be comfortable and left alone. The ball means nothing to the cat and pays no attention to it. To the dog, the ball is everything and all it's focused on. Each and every worldview is outworked in everyone's life, as it initially positions us from the start on how we perceive anything or any task to choose, or just to choose how to live our life. The Christian worldview in the home is to live knowing that the Father is with them, teaching them and knowing everything you do privately, whereas the naturalistic worldview of cause and effect, they will simply work around things to avoid as much collateral as possible. This perspective leaves the individual to rely on only the things that are seen and heard, as opposed to things that are of higher importance. According to Steve Wilkins and Mark Sanford, who written the book Hidden Worldviews, states, if the fundamental belief of naturalism is true, that all reality is physical and functions according to uniform laws, it is both irrational and futile to talk about God, miracles, or souls. This is the reason that our worldview is outworked in everything we perceive and do things. It's difficult to operate as a Christian in mental health because the opposing worldview is contrary to my belief, because the opposing worldview is contrary to my belief and would result in banishment. Growing up as a Christian, you see many lives change for a living because the results of devoting one's life into a faith that guarantees hope, love, and acceptance, it's absolutely ignored. Christians are fundamentally equipped to apply knowledge and wisdom founded in their belief in Scripture. It is a lifestyle that is about serving others and helping others with problems, assisting others when struggles or internal wounds arise. This is why many Christians are finding themselves they're gravitating towards mental health. Hence why I have found myself working in this vocation as a career and thoroughly enjoying it. However, the red tape has become increasingly difficult when engaging with clients who remain in a system that is governed by a worldview that is shooting itself in the foot. Youth work, more specifically in residential care, which is children who are taken away from their parents and being looked after by the government, is a system that provides a lifestyle that encourages breaking rules and finding advantages to take. Staff is encouraged to not get attached to the clients, as they may grow dependence towards that person, and they cannot have any form of discipline towards them other than household restrictions. The children are left to being disciplined only by the police when they eventually break them, break the law precisely. This is the growing problem with residential care youth, as they are the bulk of the crimes committed in my area, or in Australia even. As a Christian, the solution would be to apply Jesus in some way. As we all know, in any occupation, this is frowned upon. But this makes it increasingly difficult knowing you are to keep your hand tied behind your back when asked to give a helping hand. This is the difficulty of a Christian, not being able to provide the solution left at their disposal. The difficulty of the Christian worldview is actively in conflict with the government worldview. Navigating in the world with different worldviews has been a human problem since the beginning, and we have to do our best to working our way around it as much as we can. Understanding worldview and the impact it has on our society is key to knowing the source of many problems and disagreements we face. So working in mental health, understanding the worldview of all parties sheds light on the obstacles we would not otherwise know to navigate. This can be applied through all works of interaction and provide a good starting position to navigating through every intellectual hurdle.